Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening podcast. And today is an episode number 12. And today we are going to talk about how to talk with your twin flame in a way of telepathically, or how can you get them to talk to you or come back to you with these methods. These are proven methods. I have recommended this for my clients. I have done this by myself, and this is something I would like to go dive into it and give you the tools and techniques and things you can feel or understand how they're communicating with you. Because we all know that when your twin flame comes to your life, all of a sudden they disappear. They disappear out of the blue, like they were there and then they were no longer there, and they don't talk to you no longer. They are like gone. Many can say that your twin flame is not thinking about you or not caring about you and do not have the same kind of feelings. Me, I'm a true believer that yes, they do feel it, but their ego is trying to block it all the way, and that's why they're going with somebody else, or that's why they're doing something else, and they're trying to get occupied. There's the only one difference is when the twin flame might have a bit of a negative feeling. It's not like a negative feeling, but it's more like why they block you or why they try to go away from you is when you're becoming too obsessive around them, or when you start telling to them, yes, you know, we are twin flames, we're meant to be together, and this is who we are. And this is really overwhelming for them, and often they feel like you're too much and they don't want this. Because think of yourself, when you are in the separation process or you're going through this hell at the moment, this is very intense, and that energy we all know is super intense. So this is what I'm going to discuss in today's episode, because on my last episode, many of you wrote to me as well that they did something I have told them to do, and their twin flame popped back to them, or they got the message, or they got the message from the universe. And here are the different ways the twin flames communicate with you, which you don't know about it. And actually the signs are one of the biggest way how the whole conversation is going on. Because remember, divine masculine, the runner, who is right now running away from you, trying to hide from you and not trying to be in contact with you, is very ego-based. So even though they would like to tell you, I really love you and I had such a good connection with you, the ego is holding them back. Their ego is like, no, you're going to be weak, it's vulnerable, don't do that, you decided to go on a different path, live over there, this is what you had together, it's not actually real, all of these kind of things. Because I believe that you, when you first entered into that connection, you had the same. You could not believe how can you be in this crazy, intense energy. What is happening to you? And you were trying to avoid all of these signs and all of the messages you're receiving actually through your soul, who starts to tell you, this is twin flame, this is your twin flame, you had a twin flame encounter, and now you are about to awaken. So normally the divine feminine as an energy is the one who wakes up earlier and has an understanding of that this is beyond something they have ever experienced, and you cannot explain this with a logical mind. While divine masculine is still very ego-based and starts to awaken a lot later. But believe me, they will start to awaken at one point. There is just a little thing that might sometimes doesn't happen in this real life. There are many aspects, and that's why my guidance is here to help you to become your higher self, really to become your higher self and serve the world the way you're supposed to, with your mission, with your good heart, with your love, with your light. So, and if that also means that you can be in a union with your twin flame eventually, that's absolutely wonderful, because I know you want this. I know you are thinking about it at the moment, when I will be with my twin flame, when I will feel that energy again. So this is all absolutely possible. But I would like to remind you that once you become union, and I've spoken about my union in my previous episodes, where I say union is different what you're thinking as a union today. Once you have reached there, you understand this connection so differently, and you feel so differently, and you have like answers for everything you've been ever desired. You will do things that we all need you to do in this world, because you are a beautiful soul. You are love and life, and you were chosen by the universe to meet your twin flame. Yes, you're going through the pain and it's painful and it's unbearable and it's so hard and you're missing your twin flame. You can't sleep, you can't eat, you're wondering why I'm so obsessed about someone I had a very brief connection with. But this is why twin flames are here to awaken you. It's like a boof into your life. Are you ready? Are you ready to take that spiritual path? Are you ready to serve this world on the highest good? And if you are, let's dive into how can you communicate with your twin flame and how they can pop back to you. And these are the techniques which I always tell my clients, and often they say, how did you do that? How did that just happen? And I am like, well, because I know that this happened to me. This happened to my previous clients. I seen comments on my YouTube channel where people are saying, I was speaking to my twin flame on my own, and all of a sudden they came back. They started to talk to me. How is it possible? Because you have to understand, everything is energy. You are energy. Your twin flame is your energy. Divine masculine, divine feminine. So you are together. You can communicate with them all the time and you get the answers you're looking for. So I'm going to explain you how to get there, how to do it. And I'm also going to tell you when it will actually not work at all. So welcome to this podcast, and I hope you enjoy it. Always please like, subscribe, because I can tap into your energy and I feel that I'm more connected with my people and with my soul family. I really believe you are my soul family, and especially when we are connected, and that's wonderful. At the end of the podcast, I have some new information which might be useful for you. So if you have this time, listen until the end. Anyway, so let's talk about that. How can you talk to your twin flame? So the number one thing here, I'm going to tell you that how can you really talk to your twin flame is that you go really deep. And this means that you're at home. Let's say you're at home alone and you feel really sad. And then what you do normally is you're opening your phone, you start scrolling, or you start getting your mind occupied doing something else instead of going deep. But go deep. I know it's hard and I know you will not like it, but sit down with yourself and start talking. What are you feeling? For example, you sit down and you say, dear twin flame. You can say a name, you can, but always start with but you have to go deep inside. It doesn't come from the mind. You just start talking from your soul and you go like, dear twin flame, today I'm feeling really sad in some reasons. There is some kind of a deep sadness inside of me that doesn't want to leave. I feel like I want to share it with you because there's some part of you that I think feels it too. I feel sad when I look out of the window and I see birds flying and they somehow trying to tell me something, but I can't understand why. So you're trying to really go, what do you feel? And you try to describe it as deep as possible. So, and often I say you switch off your mind in that place. You really talk. It can be completely ridiculous, but you talk it out and your twin flame can hear it. And you often will get an answer from them in about 24 hours or in that week. They will tell you something that when you sit down, you will open your phone and you'll be like, wow, I was just talking about it. How did that happen? So, but this happens when you really talk to from your soul, from your deep down soul. So remember, even though it sounds absolutely ridiculous what you're saying, or something that you don't really want to say, something really vulnerable, once you say it out, the magic will start to happen because you're putting it out from your soul, okay? Remember, everything is frequency, everything is energy, and you are like the radio wave after opening your mouth, because opening your mouth means also you opening your throat chakra, speaking your truth. So you're speaking your truth through your soul. All right? So that's the one thing. The next thing is that dreams. So it's one of them when I'm coaching my clients or I'm having a consultation with them, I always say, write down your dreams. First of all, because they come to tell you in your dreams. So here can be the same thing now. Today, for example, you took the time to go within, you took a deep breath and you said, dear twin flame, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I have. This is how I have this whole energy inside of me. I'm not happy. I am feeling really sad. I'm crying all the time, and I'm crying because of this and because of that. And then they pop up in your dreams and they will tell you something. I bring my own example. I had very hard times. I felt really sad, and it was right before my retreat where I actually opened all my chakras and everything. And I was really, really sad. And I was sitting and I was saying, like, I just don't know who loves me no longer, or who I love no longer. I'm so sad, so lonely. I am really, really lonely. I wish I could have this comfort and knowing that you are here and you're comforting. Guess what? Who came to my dreams? My twin flame. And my twin flame literally said on my dreams, I am here. I am guiding you. Don't worry. Let it go. Go with the flow. You remember? Always go with the flow. Guess what? That was on, I think it was Tuesday when I spoke to it. On Wednesday, so Tuesday towards Wednesday, I saw that dream. On Wednesday, I had a ad popping up on my Facebook or Instagram somewhere that there is a retreat. On Friday, I was on a retreat and everything made sense to me. When I went to retreat, it was Shivaratri. Those who don't know, Shivaratri is where the divine feminine and divine masculine unite. It's celebrated in India, where the the goddess unites, divine feminine and divine masculine. I'll speak about the Shivaratri maybe in one of my small. So what are the coincidences here? I had no idea that on Tuesday I will end up in a retreat. And on Wednesday, I had booked the retreat. On Friday, I was already on a retreat, and my divine feminine and divine masculine united over there. That was, I didn't understand in that process, but then I realized my divine masculine is actually guiding me as well, but I need to communicate. I can't hide my feelings. So it's important part, even if you have chosen to be with your husband or your spouse or with your other partner, you can always communicate and they will give you the answers you are looking for, because it's now such a divine connection. It's a really powerful connection. So don't forget that. It's not only physical connection what we are seeking for, because we had the encounter in the physical world. It's you're energetically now connected. So when I'm talking about dreams, I always say to my clients, when they come to your dreams, write it down. Whatever they say, whatever you see. And also you're going to see some spirit animals or spirit guides in your dreams that are coming to tell you something. So write them down, because it's like a sign language which you don't understand today, but you will eventually understand, and everything step by step will start make sense to you. And also in the dreams, we can't control what we're saying. So for example, if you want to know today about from your twin flame, like, do you have feelings for me? Do you want to ask your twin flame, do you feel still the same energy what we had together? And how did that happen to me? And then you let it go. You also have to let it go. Don't come to my dream tonight and tell me this. This method is not working when you're forcing something. So for example, you're talking about it today, but he might come to your dream on Monday. So you have to understand that there are different ways of putting this. One of my favorite and absolutely most powerful is deep breath work and deep meditation. This is something where you really connect with them. You can really, really feel them again, and it's just absolutely divine. I had the feeling with my twin flame, like I told you, on a full moon, I did a very deep breath work for 2 hours. 2 hours is intense. And I had an out-of-body experience that coming back to my body, the instructor had to knock on my head and pretty much like wake up my body, because I was traveling with my soul and I was connecting, and I was speaking to my twin flame. I actually met his energy in my breath work, and we had this whole conversation. And like I said, the day after, we had the conversation in the real life. exactly 24 hours later, he told me, he literally poured it out for me. And here is something I want to tell you, that when your twin flame runner is going through awakening, they might also start to drink, go on the drugs or something like this. Because what happened is that my twin flame was not a party guy much, or he's social, but not a party guy. And he told me when this full moon was there, he said, I just felt I need to go out and have a party. Like I needed to get the steam off from me. There was so much going on inside of me. And when he said that that not being with you have affected me so much, and I know that our love is it will never happen because it's like unbelievable love. I heard him. You start speaking like the same language, you understand from the same perspective, especially when you're finally in a union with yourself. You understand that, yes, it's, but this is in a physical world. We are connected in an energy world. We are really connected. I'm talking to him like all the time and getting the answers when I don't know what is happening in my life, or what decisions I should make, or what I should do. The same way I'm talking today podcast is pretty much because of his energy. Because eventually I felt like there were, from my soul was speaking and speaking and speaking, and I'm suppressing it. I'm like, and now I'm like, no, I can't. I have to tell to people. I have to guide them. I have to help my soul family. So everyone who subscribes, everyone who is connected, you're my soul family. I'm a true believer of that we might have been in another planetary, another kind of somewhere. And today, me talking to you is like we connect with our souls. So I hope that my guidance really helps you. The next thing is the universe starts to send you signs. I tell every one of you, you have the signs. Like I had this episode about twin flame signs. It does need to have an update for more signs and more information in order to understand it. But I'm going to tell you, when, for example, you had this conversation with your twin flame, you go out, you really deeply talk about this out of you. And then you go out of the house and all of a sudden you might see 1111 somewhere repeatedly. Or someone, you just walk on the street and somebody comes to you and says to you his name or her name out of the blue. Like you did not plan for it. So that's also a communication. That means their soul wants to communicate with you, but the ego of your runner is holding it back and saying, no, this is vulnerable. Don't say that. You're showing too much of affection, too much of the feelings. But their soul is out there and trying to communicate with you, sending you signals each kind of a way. So, for example, you receive a bell, which is 222. You will go somewhere, for example, the bar, to the restaurant, and you hear some music which you had together, and it's exactly like pretty much after this that it kind of feels you feel it inside of you, like you have this little pop inside of you, like wow, how this song is coming right now. So the sign language really starts to make sense to you, and also you might feel some perfume, like scents, like you go to a new place and you feel the scent of your twin flame, and that means also that the soul is communicated. I have another really extreme thing that can happen, and that has happened to me and has happened at least 5 of my clients who have told me the stories and left me the comments, is that they're speaking to their twin flame, like I said, to speak, where either you do this through deep meditation and breath work, or you do this verbally, you really talk it out. Then they go somewhere where they're not supposed to be either, and they meet someone who is not, again, really, and this person will come and tell them everything what actually your twin flame will tell you. Like they're channeling through this person. It has happened to me at least 3 times when I meet a really random person, and this random person starts telling to me about the love, the affection, and the soul world, and all of these kind of things. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, what is that? The first time I didn't understand. I thought we had just a great connection. We had a great understanding. But then the second time, I remember that I had just a conversation with my twin flame, like with my mind and with my soul. And I met a person on the street, like it was really random, on the street. And the person said, "You have a very beautiful eyes. Do you know that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's quite common. I hear that." And I said, "Your eyes have a light and your eyes have a love." And I was sitting there. I was like, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "Deep inside of you, you have so much love. You are such a, and you're missing something inside that you're thinking that you'll be the whole, but you are already." And this person was just talking these words to me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, there was no one in this. And I was like, who sent this person to me? So these kind of things can happen to you, that you get messages from other physical beings who are actually channeling through your twin flame. So pay attention what they're saying and how they're saying. So the next thing is, for example, I would like to bring it in here. What happens if they don't communicate back to you? You did all what I said to you, you communicated with them and but you don't hear a single thing from them. It can be that they also communicate with you through your body, that you start feeling weird sensations in your body. And one of the weirdest things is the heart palpitation, where your heart starts beating really fast out of nowhere. You're sitting and your heart goes do, 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 and you are like, what just happened? I'm not running, I'm sitting, I'm in a comfortable position. And you think that you have a problem with your heart. But this is actually how your heart chakra connects with another heart chakra, the energy chakra. And so there's going to be the energy moving in that time. And that might feel that your twin flame, masculine, is feeling really sad and really heartbroken and wants to actually reach out to you. But just the fact that their ego is holding them back of doing what they're supposed to do, they are not reaching you out. But your energy system can really feel it. Also, when something happens to them, you can really feel it in your body as well. And that's why it's not very pleasant. Very often you feel it either in your sexual organs, in your heart, in your throat, and in your head. These are the very common ones, which I've heard, like a very weird, intense headache. And this headache is normally around your third eye chakra. It's not like over your head or like a migraine or something like this. It's really close to your third eye. Or, like I say, the throat, that you can't really speak. You're having like, you're trying to say, but it doesn't really, like it doesn't come. So which means in that time, or it's the opposite. There are two ways. You start saying things like that are not coming from you. Like you're literally saying all of a sudden, I'm alive, I'm so beautiful, I'm looking wonderful, today is a beautiful day. And this is not you who's saying it. This is your twin flame who is trying to communicate with you, and you are channeling through it. So these are different ways of having the communication. And I, again, on my clients, I always say, write it down when some weird things are happening to you, that you are not in control, when you really don't feel you are in control, because in the soul world, you are not in control. Our mind likes to control. Our mind likes to predict. Our mind likes to have an information. In soul world, we don't control. We go with the flow. We trust the process. We trust the universe. And that's why I am so profound for deep breath work and meditation is because in that moment, you don't really control anything. You're focusing on your breath. Your mind is switched off, and you come across with an information that is needed for you in order to become your higher self, or become a union with your twin flame, or connect with them. I guarantee you, and I truly will tell you, that you can communicate with them. In my last episode, where we were talking about the stories from our clients, I had a woman whose story was there, who met an Italian guy in a way of through a dating app. Those who remember, those who listened to the story, she followed up with me and she told me how she had signs right after she was communicating with her twin flame, and what were the signs. So I can put this to the next episode, to the follow-up episode where I can really talk about it. But I would like to hear your information also. If something happened to you, if you had a communications, just write it down for me, share it with me, either on the YouTube comments or Spotify or on my social medias. Also send me a twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com, because I can make an episode about it and really list it down for others to help them to understand what is actually happening and how is it possible. Because many of you might be listening today and saying, yeah, it's a good story, but it's not going to happen. I just would like to bring you the examples that it really will happen. And I had another client of mine, sorry, not a client, a person who sent also the last Wednesday episode, on this Wednesday episode when we had it. And her story was also very intense. And later on, she said that right after we had a communication, like I made a podcast, she cried the whole episode, and the twin flame popped back to her, and she was super confused. How did that happen? And I tell you why it happened. And here is why it's so important to share your story and start opening it up. Because the moment you release that energy, and it comes through channeling, and I kind of believe, and it's, you know, you can believe or not to believe, that I tap into your soul. And since I have been through it, I'm like the healer who comes in there and helps you to unblock this, and your twin flame will pop back. It has happened with so many of my clients, and first I thought just a coincidence, but it has happened to so many, so I don't believe there is a coincidence. And I also can feel, sometimes I feel certain things which are not, I don't really understand. I'm a bit confused. And later on, as I always write it down, I'm like, okay, this is something weird. I'm getting messages from this. And then what happens? I get an email from some of you who is talking about it. And I'm sitting there, okay, now it makes sense. Now I understand. So this is why I do what I do today, in order to help you. But let's not go so much away from the topic. And what I wanted to say also at the end of this one now is when it will not work. You know, like you try all of these techniques I told you to do and follow it, and you're writing it down, you're dreaming, you're having all of that, but they're not coming back. Like nothing is really happening and you don't feel anything. Number one thing is when it's not happening is because you're forcing with your mind. You have to be able to disconnect from this world, the mind. For example, what I mean under this is, let's say you're talking today about it, I miss you twin flame, I have this and then this, but you're predicting the outcome already with your mind. So you don't let go of it. You don't talk from your soul. So it's more like, I miss you, I want to see you, I want to do this, I want to be there. You know, if we could be together, I'd be so happy, I will have this. And when do you come back to me? Why you're not talking to me? So you have this whole like expectation. Expectation comes from the mind. And it will not happen because you're not coming from your soul. The moment you talk from your soul, the moment you share it from inside of you, it will start to happen. I can guarantee you, literally. But if it's with your mind that you expect, today I'm talking, okay, today I sit down and I start talking now, tomorrow they come back to me. It will not happen. I know 100%. Nothing will happen forcefully. It always happens when you have a connection together. So, and the next thing is when it will not happen is also when you are not ready for it. And remember, universe knows when you are ready for it. So what it means is that sometimes you're not ready to receive certain information. And I believe when you listen to my podcast also, sometimes some of the information is too much or it's too confusing and it just simply doesn't make sense to you. And you feel like, nah, it's not like this, or I don't believe that, or I don't have this kind of understanding. And that just simply means that you have a process to go and it's okay. Right now, where you are is all right. You go step by step and you start to understand it better. If you think of myself, and I'm so glad I came across with an information, somehow my soul team, my guides were giving me information to not to get lost in the mainstream. Because what happens in the mainstream twin flames, they are trying to tell you that your only way of being happy and your only way of being united is when you are with your twin flame. And they miss the part of the fact that you are already together, you're energetically together. And now it's your time to become your higher self. Once you become your higher self and you serve the world with your highest mission, your twin flame will start to awaken. And then you can be together because you have a mission together. And this mission is most probably very, very powerful. And you have to make some very strong changes in the world to bring more love and light, because that's what we really need in this world. You see how much hate we have around, how much miserable people we have around, how many people are taking drugs and are under the alcohol substance and all of that, because their souls are so lost. They have lost their soul. And your mission here is to bring more love and light into those souls and heal the world. So that's why you have to understand that there's a process to go through it. For example, my twin flame didn't speak to me about 4 months at all. We were complete in silence. It was a torture. It was the most painful time. It was the time where I'd literally die. And I put a little link of when Jordan Peterson, he explains it very well. In a life, you die and you have many rebirths. But that means when you die, you really die. Like this old self of you goes away. And you have to be able to let go of it. You're no longer the same person. I'm really putting this in the link because I think the way he says clicks you very well and makes you to understand how you can change your perspective. How can you become who you're supposed to be now? And that's why it's so painful. So these are the things which I think are very helpful for you to guide and not to get lost in this madness. Another thing is also, which I just want to say it in a way that it will help you, is that writing it down and sharing with me or sharing with somebody who has been in this already has been in this journey. Don't share with those who haven't been. They will tell you that this doesn't exist. This is just a love and just let go of it. You are opening a new way of it. You will start seeing it in a different ways, and that's why I think it's just very helpful for you. So always feel free to. Every Wednesday we discuss stories from my followers, from my subscribers. You can send it on twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com. It's the link in the description. Always feel free to do so. So today's episode is a little bit shorter because I wanted to give you an overview of how to communicate with your twin flame. I also wanted to say, as many of you have been asking, that's the news what I wanted to tell you, because I still haven't finished my website and put out the information there. But I do offer consultation calls, and my way of doing it is a little bit maybe different. My first call, which is 45 minutes. We can do it via Zoom, or there's an option to do it via WhatsApp if those who wish, but I find it Zoom more helpful. It can be video, non-video, up to you. How do you feel? And it's 45 minutes and it's for free. The first consultation is free, and I'm going to explain you why. First of all, because I need to see if we can connect and if you are ready to receive the information I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you the rainbows and butterflies and tell you that, yes, we do this and tomorrow you are with your twin flame. There's a process for all of us to go through, and for some of us it's longer, some of us is shorter, and some of you might not be ready yet to accept it. So during this 45 minutes, we see if our souls and if our mindset and our way of channeling connects. If it does connect, then of course you can book the next call, and that's already a paid call where we actually dive deep, go into the techniques. And now here is something very different what I do. I take always notes, and I keep them notes with me. And for example, if we have a call today, I write all these notes down, and then I don't analyze them with my logical mind. I let them there. And then my soul starts to understand certain things and starts to understand which way I need to guide you and which information I need to give you. So it will not work if I will do it in a group call, because you all have a very different way of letting it go and understanding. That's why at the moment I do one-on-one calls in that terms. I'm hoping to do in the future a group call where we can all meet, we can talk, we can share. And it also can be anonymous. You don't have to tell who you are, because I was not ready for a very long time because I denied this process. So this is something what I do. So for those who would like to schedule a call, I try to finish my website, and you can meanwhile send me an email, twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com, where we can schedule the first call to see how it goes, to see if we have a same energy and same way of understanding. And I think if you're listening to my podcast, you can understand what I do and how I do. The next thing is, like I said, every Wednesday we share stories from my people. So share your story with me. Sometimes it might take longer by the time your story comes up, but I choose with my soul. And what I feel is like, literally, I feel like, okay, I clicked there and I'm going to read about this one because that makes sense. And often there is a pattern why it makes sense. I trust my soul so much in this world, and I wish you could do the same. So, like I said, there's going to be a woman who's going to come and talk about the intimacy at one point, and also another woman where we're going to talk about the twin flame journey itself, how it started. Then, many of you are asking from me, am I going to do a video content? And yes, I am planning to really set up a video where you can see me, where you get to know me, who I am. Might be, because now you know my voice, you know my soul, so you can see me as a physical. I don't know if it will go up on YouTube, and most probably it is under exclusive because I'm also sharing other people's stories, and I don't know if we are all ready to go out public there, but it will be under exclusive where you can see me, where you can talk to me, and we have all of that possible. And then a final thing is that I really wanted to say thank you. I really feel I've connected with my soul world and with the soul people. We all live in different parts of the world, and currently we are communicating. I'm speaking in English, but overall we're communicating also with the signs now. The more I see your comments, the more I hear your opinion and your feedback, I really feel how we are connecting. It might be only me, but I'm really, truly believing it. Because when I receive an email when somebody said that this just happened to them, I'm like, I knew it. I just knew it. The moment you sent me a story, I had that feeling. And I say that on my Wednesday episodes. So, and in order to understand my schedule now is that on Wednesday, a guest post, guest stories, all of that. On Sunday, we talk about the topic like we talked today about how to connect with your twin flame and how to talk to them. And on Friday, I have a really small episode out there for just to get it. Either it's the energy update, either it's what's happening and in a short version, or there can be also in a tarot in the future when I feel it's ready and time for it. So these are the little updates for those who are following, and if you are not yet following, please like and subscribe and follow, because on YouTube it's 50%. 50% of the people who are watching are now following back. But it would help my channel to grow tremendously and makes me actually feel more connected with you, because I know the moment the video is out, you're there and I'm here. Thank you so much for listening to Twin Flame Awakening podcast. Your presence has been absolutely a gift for me today, and I hope to see you soon here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a little comment.
I look left,
and I hope to see you soon.
I look right behind me. In one moment, you were there. In the next glance, you're gone. I keep my head up and my voice tall, just how you'd wanted me to. With my arms outstretched for you to find me, around in circles, I get so dizzy till I can't see. I will not hide any longer. I am spinning around. Won't you catch me?